Boone, welcome back.
Happy SEC Media Days.
Yeah, I haven't caught much of it yet. I did see a great quote today. I actually brought it up, had my notes. So I got the notification. Beamer saying there is no ceiling for this team. That got me fired up this morning.
Yeah, so I had a long weekend this weekend. Had some buddies from high school back in town. Relatively tame, but obviously just not the greatest sleep. Didn't have the greatest sleep last week, getting back from Spain. So I'm sleeping in this morning, and I'm waking up finally like 8 o'clock Eastern. Still got to walk the dog and do all that before I get to work. And I wake up to a text from like our sales, we call it the bullpen, like our little corner says, is anyone going in today now? And I'm confused trying to catch up. We got an email at like 7:30 that the Wi-Fi routers are all down in the office. So an impromptu work from home day. I hit the snooze, was back in bed, woke up like 8:40. And then obviously working from home, and I noticed SEC Media Day starting South Carolina was today predominantly. It was them, LSU, Vanderbilt, and someone else, maybe Ole Miss. So from about 11 to about 1, I was absolutely useless. Be having to work later tonight to catch up on some stuff, but got to catch a lot of the Shane Beamer interviews. The panels, it was good. That's why I had to don the SEC football shirt and then break out the Gamecock hat as well today. Football is just, it's so close. It's so close.
Yeah, I think I sent you a text over this weekend too. Like, man, I miss sports. Like I was sitting here watching the WNBA and Summer League basketball. I'm like, man, dude, I am bored out of my mind right now. Like trying to find baseball to watch. On that note, I mean, the Red Sox looking absolutely phenomenal, 10 wins in a row going to the All-Star break. So that's exciting, but I cannot wait for football to be back. And I also got a notification I saw on Twitter, maybe Lenora Sellers even posted, there's going to be like a Netflix series. Given Saturday. So that looks awesome. I think that's coming out August 5th. So I'm pumped to see that as well.
Yeah, Beamer mentioned that as well. I mean, obviously, look, we're SEC fans. People hate SEC fans when you're not in the SEC, and I quite frankly, I get it. I would not like SEC if I wasn't in the SEC or didn't go to an SEC school as well. So I get it, but Beamer even said it today. He's like, look, we play in the best league in the country. There's a reason Netflix picked our league. I love that he's still saying that even after the last 2 years being Big Ten winners. I think we can all, if we take our SEC hats off, we can say the Big Ten was probably better as a conference, at least at the top, than the SEC was last year. The SEC might have had a little bit more depth, but I mean, then you look at it with like Illinois versus South Carolina in the bowl game. Not that bowl games matter, but Illinois was a very good team that didn't get a lot of buzz last year. So kind of rambling a bit, but I think it goes to show that with every new year, everybody's just that kind of tribalism of college football that we all love. It's my team against your team. It's my league against your league. And it's the closest thing that we have in the U.S. to like Europeans with soccer, just the tribalism of it all. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. And, speaking of, I think it's kind of a little bit of a good segue, but I do have some news I got to drop before we get to that.
Yep. There's been a lot of news. That's been fun to see today.
We got to talk about an Ohio State ex-national championship player. We'll get to that here in 1 minute, but I have a few quick tidbits of pop culture news that I want to pop here in front of Boone.
Yeah.
The Justin Bieber came out with a new album.
I've listened to a couple tracks.
It's No Sorry. There's two good. I like a couple songs, but it's No Sorry. I had my expectations too high, but a couple good songs. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is back with a new season.
Yes.
And if you are a fan, you need to go watch it. Right back where they always have been, just perfect.
So
it was good.
I've been slacking a bit on my Always Sunny. There's a ton of the newer seasons I haven't seen, but when you sent me that text, I didn't even go back to try to catch up. I just went right into season 17, episode 1. Holy shit! I mean, they're back on it. And then Rob, now Rob Mack, formerly Rob McElhenney, he was on Pardon My Take. I guess last week saying this is our funniest season we've ever done. Like we watched back and said this is the funniest season we've ever done.
I've rewatched the elementary school episode at least twice now, maybe even 2.5 times.
Yeah.
And there's a line that Charlie Day drops in it that's my absolute favorite. He's like, yeah, they're throwing tornadoes at Florida now. I think it's something about that having too much oranges or something. Gets me every single time, like in a puddle.
So apparently that whole scene was just kind of go for it. And when they start talking about the conspiracies, and somebody mentions the weather, Mac just goes, "Yeah, it's the frogs." And D goes, "I did hear it's the frogs. They're shooting them into space." And then I think Dennis is like, "Oh, is that something to do with the gay frogs?" And Charlie's like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "I did hear about that." I mean, just riffing like that and it being so funny. I want to know how many takes that was, but in my heart, I hope that was just a first take, like a one take close.
Did you hear me? The snack wrap is back.
I did. I just heard you now. Okay, sorry. I lost my I'm on my computer and my Teams jumped up for some reason. But yeah, yes. Give me the review.
It's
I lost you if you're still talking.
what is going on?
Yeah, I lost you there for a second.
All right. Yeah, I think we're back.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's good. There's a little bit too much tortilla. A little bit too much tortilla. Okay. So you just got to be aware of that. Rip a little bit of that tortilla off, and then you're good to go.
So do they have more than one flavor, or is it just the one flavor still?
So they have a ranch one and they have a spicy one.
Okay.
But what I did is I ordered the ranch one, and then I got a plain one without the ranch, and then I got honey mustard with it, and I put the honey mustard in there myself.
Okay.
So that's what I did too.
Are they using the McCrispy, the new McCrispy strips for it?
I think so. It seemed a little bit different. It seemed a little bit like almost flatter, like a little bit less,
Yeah. Have you had the McCrispy strips by themselves?
I have, yes.
See, I think that's the people. I know it was definitely my generation. You're a little bit younger than me, but I assume you still remember Chicken Selects. Yeah, that was still a thing when you. Okay, the original snack wrap had the Chicken Select, and I'm a little apprehensive, I'll say, to trying this new snack wrap because I know the McCrispy strips are just not in the same class as the Chicken Selects.
It was definitely some nostalgia. I'm not going to probably be ordering them very often. It's kind of something you can just throw into your order. It's like, hey, I could have a little bit extra to this order.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You're not going to McDonald's to get the snack wrap. So I'm going to say that'd be a crazy thing to do.
I'll tell you who has a good chicken wrap right now. Burger King. The Burger King chicken wraps are good. Yeah, the buffalo one, I think they call it the fiery one, and then just the plain honey mustard. You could only go so wrong with a honey mustard chicken tender wrap. But yeah, Burger King, actually, I'll give them their credit. But the other chicken wrap burrito tortilla in the game that I've heard real good things about is the Taco Bell ones. Now I've had the Taco Bell chicken, and I guess their secret is in the batter for the fry batter or whatever. They use tortilla chips, like they crunch up tortilla chips, so it's extra crunchy. But I've been hearing a lot of buzz, and as a Taco Bell stand, if you will, I might have to venture into that place as well because if anyone can do a wrap, it's probably them.
See, here's my thing too. I don't really know about Taco Bell ever missing. The one thing I will say, the Mexican pizza. Some people love the Mexican pizza. I don't understand why anyone would ever get the Mexican pizza.
I agree, but I understand those people because it's a nostalgia thing. And they took it away. So when you take something away and you bring it back, people just go bananas for it. Yeah.
Well, I texted you last night about this. I had some big news that I had to break on the show today.
Yes, I've been anxiously awaiting.
And this isn't something that was taken away, but it is something that's here, and I think it's going to be here to stay for a long time. American Airlines has finally brought tequila on planes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Tequila is now being offered as an in-flight beverage on American Airlines flights, apparently as of June 1st, and I didn't know about it.
Wow. Okay.
I found out yesterday, so that's huge news.
I wonder what the catalyst for that addition was. I mean, I'm not going to ever complain about having tequila anywhere, but.
And it's Blanco too. So it's pretty decent stuff, I think.
Okay. I mean, they have their like go-to bourbon is Woodford, which is always a nice touch.
So that's huge news. I mean, that gives me some options when I fly. I don't always have to go with the Woodford. Sometimes, I'm never going to complain about that, but
a hot flight, you don't really want the Woodford necessarily.
No, and sometimes you get stuck on there. Now I got tequila.
Yeah.
Well, especially if I'm rolling into like Mexico, I kind of want the tequila vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bourbon rolling into Mexico.
or even if you're going to like the beach of any sort. I mean, like where your
Yeah.
parents' spot is down in Florida. Like if you're trying to get down there, I mean, the little
Yeah.
tequila is not gonna hurt anybody. I just, especially the international flights, the double bourbon and then double bourbon while you're watching your first flick and then pop, just fall out. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So I had to share that with you. It was super exciting stuff for me yesterday. I was
Yeah.
thrilled.
So
I was thrilled.
you also don't have to take your shoes off anymore here.
I never did. I don't. I'm not a loser. I have TSA pre-check. So
I just got global entry. Like I just got my card yesterday.
so it doesn't even affect you anymore. That's
no,
irrelevant.
no. And also the shoes thing never bothered me. I fly like a homeless hippie. I'm talking like Birkenstocks and socks, so I don't have to walk around the airport barefoot. But just pop those Birkenstocks off, and I'm ready to go. So it's never bothered me. It's the laptops taking your shit out of your bag. I'm excited to experience that.
I always hate the liquids. I don't really care about the laptop. Laptop's kind
Oh,
of
you can bring liquids?
What?
You can bring liquids with TSA pre?
Like in the plastic bag.
Oh, like the toiletries.
Yeah, toiletries. Yeah. Well, technically, you can also bring liquids through if you get them like tested. I don't know. I'm never doing that. I'll just buy water. I don't care.
Yeah, well, I bring a water bottle, so I'll just fill it up.
Yeah, that's a veteran traveler move right there.
Yeah,
and I will die on this hill. I think you probably wouldn't stress me. I think you're a veteran enough fly. I don't think you probably need this. But there should be certain people as part of the global entry TSA pre-check process. There has to be some type of test, like hey, or maybe like an hour-long screening process or like lessons on how to go through security. I'm sick and tired of people having a TSA pre-check and not know how to go through security. Like,
so
what
have you seen the movie The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson?
Yes.
It's the terminal test. Which one of these guys would you be okay with sitting at the airport that you don't know? It's just like, it's a basic competency test of like, can you be in an airport as a real human and not cause issues?
Yeah, it's like some people just don't understand. Like there'll be someone like it'll take them 9 minutes to go through the thing. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm there with plenty of time for my flight because I want to go hang out at the lounge, maybe do some work, have a couple of drinks. But like, it's just the incompetency pisses me off. It's not the slowness; it's the incompetence pisses me off. It's ridiculous, especially if you're paying or you went and did all this. Like, make them at least know how to go through security. That's all I'm going to say. I've been on that rant for years, and I'm going to stay on it until it gets fixed.
I hear you. It's people either know too much about how to travel or don't know at all. There's no like basic level of, you either just get it and you've done it enough, or like you're walking around trying to find A24 in Terminal C. It's just like be intelligent. I don't know.
And that's another thing too. I think some people go to the airport and just become a moron. Like I think they just like lose all their sense of intelligence. They can be the smartest person. They step through those gates and it's just like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
They get all panicked and they have no sense of competency. Maybe it's because they're scared of flying. I don't know, but it's concerning sometimes. People watching an airport is always a treat.
Yeah. Well, you touched on it a second ago. I used to be a cut it by the skin of my teeth to get my flight, because I didn't want to go pay for a bunch of drinks. But now that I have that lounge access, thanks to yours truly, Evan Johnson, since then, it's like I'll get there 3 hours early and just go post up. I got to have enough time to get 2 drinks, 3 drinks, and then like look around to see what food I want. I was traveling with my boss the other day and brought him into the Admirals Club. And he goes, you're drinking it at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Like, what's going on? I was like, sorry, I drink in airports. I don't know. And he still jokes about it with me today. He's like, you have a good flight? Have a good flight? You know, you're an airport drinker, right? I'm like, I guess. I guess I'm the airport drinker guy at the office.
I mean, the second I go to an airport, I'm going to drink. It's almost like I don't even care if like I don't plan on getting drunk. Like it's like for whatever reason, I want to go get a drink.
Yeah. I had to take a couple years ago. An airport is kind of like a frat house. It's socially acceptable to drink at any point in the day, and there's always people hanging out that don't really know each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you will just talk to anybody. It's like, I'll have a good conversation.
Yeah.
And you'll tell someone your life stories because, like, hey, I'm about to go on a plane and be a million miles away from you, so I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you find out that they're just laying over in whatever place you're at. You're like, yeah, we have no chance of ever meeting each other again. By the way, I sold heroin once. Not that I actually did. But, yeah.
It's like, did you get any through security? We got a bathroom. We got a little bit of time to chill, buddy.
Yeah, especially in the lounge, you got the big, nice private ones too.
Yeah, you got the stall doors that go all the way down to the ground. Those are phenomenal if you have to take an airport poop. It's peaceful in there. You're like, because dude, the main terminal bathrooms are just a nightmare.
Dude, they just get abused by every person and their brother.
I'm not sure if I was talking to you about this, but we were wondering. I bet you could pinpoint the toilet in America that probably gets the most use by just figuring out the most commonly traveled by bathroom in America.
It's got to be like something in Atlanta. Like the international in Atlanta is probably just getting a beating.
Maybe. See, here's my argument on that though. Maybe it's an airport that's a little bit smaller that has less bathrooms.
Okay.
Like one that's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's a busy airport, but it's not quite as big as Atlanta. So there's like more confined to like certain areas.
Like an Indianapolis airport?
Never been, but maybe.
It's a great airport, I will say. Great airport. I'm biased, but it's a good airport. Something like that where you're eating good Midwest corn-fed food. And there's like 10 bathrooms in the entire airport. Yeah, I hear you.
Now on the traveling note, I've unfortunately, I guess not unfortunately, I'm gonna have to get on a plane here in a couple weeks, catch back up on my flights for work, but haven't traveled in a couple, this past week, and then going this week, I'm not traveling next week as well.
That's unlike you.
Forget how much I enjoy cooking when I'm home. Like, just being able to like buy groceries and like, especially working from home all day, I can do some prep work during the day and just plan out my meal all night, or all day. Look up recipes, make sure I have everything fine tuned. If I'm missing something, I'll just walk to the grocery store. It's a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
And then just get to cook a phenomenal meal every night. You just like sit back, maybe have a glass of wine, glass of bourbon, and just enjoy a meal. Like I loved it. I forgot how much I enjoy, like how much of a stress reliever it is for me.
What are you making tonight? Or you got anything special up tonight?
Tonight's kind of relaxed, not too crazy. Gonna do some seared scallops, and then I made beef bruschetta last night. And in that, when I was baking it, I had some steak tips that I put in there. So I put those in there with them. And then the other half of the steak tips, I'm going to be cooking with the scallops tonight and then doing a side of asparagus and broccolini. So that's the plan for tonight. But yeah, no, last week I made probably the best thing. I had made a herb crusted lamb, and it was the best thing I've ever made. So
I did see that. That was straight up food porn. I mean, You texted me, you're like, hey, in about an hour, go peep my story. So naturally, I had put the timer on, and I went and gave it a look-see. And boy, God bless, how did it turn out? It looked phenomenal.
It was unbelievable. The one thing I will say, I was being a little.
I lost you.
So I would have done it. So I did over a bed of tzatziki sauce, which is a great option. But if I'd been a little bit more prepared, I would have done it over mashed potatoes and then done like a red wine sauce. But the lamb and tzatziki sauce were incredible. So it was very good. Like the lamb turned out perfect. The lamb was perfect. I just would have adjusted the plating a little bit.
Do you think a tzatziki mashed potato would play?
That's like actually an idea. See, now that's
how people throw like heavy cream into their mashed potatoes to like make them fluffier. Like, what if you threw some tzatziki sauce out a little but like a little bit of like pizzazz? I don't know.
I don't know.
Then you get the carb.
What I would say is, do like the herbs and stuff that you would do in tzatziki and put that in the mashed potatoes instead.
Maybe. But then you don't have the same like kind of sour tartness from the yogurt. Or even if you did if you did roasted potatoes and you poured tzatziki over those and then a lamb on top of that.
That might work. That might play too.
That the mashed potatoes and tzatziki might be a little strange.
There, you just have to work on it. But you have to figure it out a little bit.
Nice. So much like you, and unlike you, I guess, I'm traveling pretty much every day after this. I'll touch on that in a second. I got some cool shit coming up, but I'm doing a sirloin beef and broccoli tonight.
Nice. Like a stir fry?
Basically a traditional beef and broccoli like you'd get at any Chinese place, but I'm using sirloin steak. I cut it real thin, have it marinating in teriyaki, soy sauce, fish sauce, garlic, and lime juice right now. I know lime juice isn't necessarily traditional. I just like kind of the brightness of it. But then I'm going to do some broccoli and then cut up some mushrooms, which I know you don't like necessarily, but gonna pop those in the stir fry skillet.
See, here's the thing on mushrooms. I don't really like mushrooms as like I I do like shiitake mushrooms if they're prepared right, but and mushrooms are growing on me. It's the actual mushroom I don't like eating. So I kind of like having them in like a stir fry like that. Like I think it adds flavor to the dish. And then I probably won't eat the mushroom part. Does that make sense? So like that dish, I would like the flavor provided by the mushroom. I just probably wouldn't eat the plain mushroom itself. Maybe if that much sauce, I might.
Is it you that has the same take on like a turkey sandwich? Like you want tomato on the sandwich, but then you want to take it off because you want the tomato. Okay.
No.
There's somebody.
I don't want tomato on my sandwich.
I was talking to somebody recently. They're like, I hate tomatoes, but I do like when somebody makes a sandwich and puts tomatoes on my bread, and then before I eat it, I take the tomatoes off because they like don't want the whole tomato, but the slight flavoring, I guess.
See, well, so here's this. On that same note, like a pasta, like you give me like cherry grape tomatoes.
Yeah.
As you're sautéing or almost, you're making that like a pasta. It's like a scampi, like a strip.
Yeah. You have the tomatoes,
scampi. Letting that juice and the flavor of the tomato get into that like scampi sauce, and then like kind of having those tomatoes sauteed down.
Yeah,
I do like it that way. But burger, sandwich, I don't want any tomatoes anywhere near it.
I hear you. But speaking of food, my stepdad just sent me beef short rib on the smoker, first time. So we got cooking going on today in the chat. Look at I don't know if you can see them, but look at those bad boys.
Dude, beef short ribs, one of those things I didn't really eat too much until later in life, or around 5 years ago. So good. I'm really getting on the train. Like I said, I did beef bread roll last night. It's basically just slow cooking a rolled flank steak.
Yeah.
It's slow cooking beef is becoming one of my favorite things to do. Just like the way it melts in your mouth is so good. I think I told you a little bit ago. I did a beef cheek.
Oh yeah.
And it's incredible. If you've never tried it, you got to really slow cook it, but it like just melts in your mouth. The flavor is unbelievable.
I had a lot of beef cheek in Spain, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Big there. But let me touch on some of these things I got coming up because I was talking about travel.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, pretty average day. Just got to go to Greenville, see a client, spend the whole day there. But then Wednesday and Thursday, I got an invite last week to go play the Dormy Club in Pinehurst. It's like a 2-hour drive, so I'm playing around Wednesday and I'm playing around Thursday, potentially squeezing on another 9 on Wednesday as well. For those that are either first-time listeners or are the 2 or 3 that have listened to a couple of different shows now, I'm a terrible golfer. Terrible. But when somebody invites you to play Pinehurst, you have to say yes. I told my boss today, I was like, hey, I'm going to be out of the office. He goes, what do you got going on? I go, someone invited me to play Pinehurst, and just like kind of dreading it because hoping he wouldn't say like, you can't do that. And he goes, yeah, you got to say yes to that. You can't not say yes to that. So great vibes from the boss, but super pumped. I'll be out pretty much after tomorrow. I'll be out all week, which is why we're coming one day early here. Obviously, we've talked about Evan and I's travel schedules with our paying jobs. You get us to a spot where we can quit our jobs, and we'll be here whenever you need. 5 days a week if you want it. Yeah, we'll do every day of the week. But yeah, super pumped. I got to buy some more golf balls because I'm going to lose at least 9 per 9. If I can keep it under that, that's a great day to me.
I got to start playing golf. I really need to get into it. I got clubs. My parents have offered to get me lessons, or already said they're getting me lessons. I just got to get out and do it. Just with traveling so much, it's tough to go get yourself out there. And the thing is, when I start doing lessons, it's one of those things. You need to be consistent on it. You need to go out there and play a lot. So I need to be like, hey, I'm going to do it, plan out, and get ready to do it. So one thing I definitely got to do. So, but I want to get into golf. I just love being on the golf course, even when I don't play. So it's just something I want to do.
I've played a lot more golf this year through work than I've ever played in my life. I've gotten a lot of free rounds. Like I've gotten a lot of days out there. Kristen's going to a concert this weekend up in New York. Anyone at the Olivia Dean concert, go Olivia Dean. But I've already got playing 2 rounds Wednesday, or 2 rounds between Wednesday and Thursday. Then I'm going to play 2 rounds this weekend as well because I've got nothing else to do. House to myself, no sports on really. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm just going to play 4 or 5 rounds of golf by the time I talk to y'all next.
Nice. Well, what else do you have coming up travel-wise?
Beyond that, August is a little bit busy. Kristen and I are going to Vail for one of her friends' weddings, which will be a ton of fun. I've never been to Vail as many times I've been to Colorado. Then we have the old guys I used to play club soccer with back at South Carolina. We have our fantasy football draft, and I've been harping on this for years now. We've been doing this draft or this league for what year is it? 2025. we've been doing this league for about 9 years, I think. And I finally got everyone since we graduated to do a live draft. And so we got we rented a house for the weekend at Lake Murray. We're going to do like a combine to figure out, it's played out, but we've never done it. So I don't care if anyone says we're not original. Don't care. Yeah. We're not like we're going to be filming it for content. This is just like, we're just having fun. Maybe we'll throw a couple of videos out. I'm not sure, but super pumped for that. And then going to the lake the week after that, up at Lake Norman. So I'll be out and about. I'll be around. Still be able to record that week. But Kristen's parents rented a house at the lake, so we're gonna go for our annual summer lake trip. Which that'll be a good time. And then right after that is football season. I think the Saturday to end that trip is the South Carolina Virginia Tech Aflac kickoff game. So I go straight from some vacations right into the best time of year. I mean, that's what this show kind of started on, is not just college football, but football. It's going to be the best time of year. What about yourself?
I'm chilling right now. Got a couple weeks off. I have some crazy things going on at work, kind of in a transition period, so won't get too much into that. But kind of chilling on travel, seeing how some things play out right now. But I have nothing else. I got to make a trip up to kind of boring trip all across Oklahoma, replacing someone's account. So I got to go make some introductory meetings, which will be, kind of a boring trip. It is what it is. Maybe I'll be surprised. And then going to have a couple more trips out to California here, probably end of July, most of August, which is nice. Kind of the perfect time to be in California, to be honest. So, and then probably do a weekend down in San Diego with our buddy Acevedo. So that'll kind of be a great way to close the summer. I think plans to hopefully catch a Padres game.
Hell yeah.
Trying to cross off all 30 major league ballparks. So
are the Padres the only team in like major pro sports that can pull off brown as a colorway?
What was that? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was saying are the Padres the only professional sports team in America that can pull off the color brown as one of their colorways and like make it look cool?
Maybe. And that might be a perfect segue. Maybe.
Maybe. Cleveland, we know they can't. I mean, Wyoming has brown, but I mean, Wyoming is like, you have the Josh Allen brown unis. That's kind of cool because Josh Allen's cool. But like, is there anyone else that rocks brown and makes it look like a cool jersey?
What was that? Yeah.
Is there anyone else that can rock brown as a cool jersey? I don't know that there is.
I don't know. It's a tough card to pull off, that's for sure.
Yeah. But where are you segueing to? Let's hear it.
I think everyone might have heard the news by now.
You're breaking up a bit, Ev. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or if it's your Wi-Fi, but
I think I got it back. We good?
Yeah, I'm good. You were you were just talking about old Quinshon.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think most people dispute. Sounds like you got in a pretty dangerous domestic dispute down there in South Florida.
Right after he held out on his rookie contract.
Yep. This leads me to a topic or a point I think I need to make. I think as a league, the NFL might need to step in and I'm not sure if the Browns should be allowed to have anybody under the age of 25 on that team. I think we might need to not allow them to have anybody under 25. Let them go somewhere else before they throw their lives away and go to Cleveland. I don't know how we'd work that out with the NFL draft. Maybe we give them something, but just force them to trade those away, at least until players can start acting a little bit normal and the frontal lobe gets fully developed. Because this just seems to be a little bit too much of a common occurrence. So, I don't know. That's just an idea. I mean, maybe throw it away. I think we've lost some great careers to the Browns. One play, we're going to have a top 5 of so far since 2000. At the end of the day today here, so we can probably have a few names on that list that went to the Browns, and now they're nowhere. So I don't know. It's just a food for thought. Maybe get Roger Goodell on the horn. I don't know if it would work out, but
yeah,
I think it's something we may want to consider as a.
Yeah. So I went on to Brown's Twitter after this news was announced, just to see what the fans were saying, and it's pretty overwhelming that the anger is at letting Nick Chubb walk over this. People are much less concerned with the domestic abuse than they are for bringing in a guy who would domestically abuse because they had Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb is a phenomenal player. Had some unfortunate injuries. I can understand why the Browns decided not to make the move to keep him. I can understand why Browns fans are mad about it. I'm mad about it because he's on the Texans and they're in my division, and that's just not cool for my hopes and dreams as a Colts fan. That said, I mean, just how dumb can you be? Taking the humanity side away from it, because obviously we don't need to say this, but we'll say it. We don't support any kind of behavior like that. It's absolutely abhorrent. But how dumb can you be as a human to just like put yourself in that situation and, one, lay hands on a female like that, but two, if you know that you're that kind of cat, sign the deal. Get something. Because they're not going to have any. They're not going to have any contract language in there to like, hey, don't be a shithead. Like that's exclusively reserved for the quarterback room. But like, if you know you're that kind of cat, sign the deal first. Now, taking it step out of football and just like the human side, prison, take him out. We don't need to see him. I think the NFL players get away with stuff they shouldn't because they're NFL players. That's not really what we are here to discuss on this show, but I mean, just don't be a shithead. It's a really easy job. Don't be a shithead, and then the rest of your talent and hard work from the rest of your life gets you an unbelievable life with a ton of money. But now I don't think he should be able to put on, even as terrible and ugly and abhorrent of a jersey it is, he shouldn't be even allowed to put that on. So yeah, Quinshon Judkins, bad guy.
This thing. Sorry about the Wi-Fi issues here. I don't know what AT&T is gonna have a nice customer service phone call for me after the show here today.
No, I was just saying bad guy, but if we can slight pivot to no, can you hear me again? Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I got you. You good?
Yeah. So I wanted to slight pivot because talking about Quinshon Judkins being a shitty person, someone else got suspended today, just hours before we got on the show. Did you hear the Teddy Bridgewater news?
No, I did not.
So Teddy Bridgewater, and forgive me, I can't remember the team he's coaching. He's coaching I'll look at it later. He's coaching a smaller college school, and he was just suspended for giving impermissible gifts to his players and recruits. Would you like to hear what some of those impermissible gifts are?
I would love to.
Ubers to get to and from practices and games for players that don't make NIL money because they're too small in school. Food through Uber Eats and other methods of helping his players eat because he's at a small school that doesn't have access to the full meal plans, and these players again do not have NIL. Helping them pay for physical therapy after injuries that happen on the football field because, again, he's at a smaller school that can't pay. These impermissible gifts have gotten Teddy Bridgewater suspended by the NCAA. What?
That's crazy.
What? We have a guy who's being an incredible personality, an incredible just vision of what a person should be who's had a ton of football success, a really good player, by all accounts, an unbelievable locker room presence, an unbelievable leader. We're giving him the reins to a school that severely needs help and leadership, and then we're suspending him, not because he's buying strippers, or not because but because he's paying for players who can't pay for themselves to have access to things like food, rides to and from practices, and physical therapy. It's just another shitty stain on the face of the NCAA, which is an organization that as we all learned in Blue Mountain State, doesn't actually mean anything. It's a governing body that is losing power day by day. I couldn't believe when I saw it. I was glad to see it right before the show, so we could bring it up at least. But just, I hate to see that. He should be celebrated. He should be talked about like an unbelievable person, and he's being slandered by the NCAA. People are going to look back years from now and just see suspension impermissible benefits and not what they were and have any context. It's just a shame to a guy that I've always really, really liked. I mean, Teddy Two Gloves is one of the most unbelievable nicknames that we have in sports, in my opinion. So yeah, I hate to see that. Keep your head up, Teddy. Not that you'll ever see this show, but keep your head up. We hope that the NCAA gets off their ass and figures this one out.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, who's the bigger tyrant too? The NCAA, excuse me, or Roger Goodell? We got to get some better. We got to get some better leaders over our football governments, whatever you want to call them.
Governing bodies.
But I was texting you yesterday, and it sounds like you had a little bit of a movie night yesterday.
I did. Before we jump into that, I've got a couple more football things real quick, just while we're still on it. Garrett Wilson signed his new deal, 4 years, $130 million. Jets rarely do competent things, so I'm pleasantly surprised and happy that the Jets have gotten a guy that they need to keep, because he has had no help and he's been unbelievable throughout his NFL career so far. The other thing, back to SEC media days, Nick Barrett was the defensive tackle that the Gamecocks brought alongside DQ Smith and Lenoris, obviously. Do you know Nick Barrett's story? Because it's kind of interesting.
I did not. I don't know too much about him, to be honest with you.
So I think this will be his fourth playing year, but he essentially came to the coaches last year, and as I think as a third-year guy, and said, hey, does it make sense for me to redshirt this year? You know, they were like, why? You're going to be a part of this team's plans for this year. And he said, look at the talent we have in front of me right now, and then the talent we have on the roster after those guys leave. Talking about Boogie Huntley, talking about Tonka, talking about TJ Sanders. He essentially redshirted, only played 4 games last year, so that he could be the heart of the defensive line this year. Obviously, Dylan Stewart's going to be the heart of the defensive line from a production standpoint, but for a defensive end to be able to do that, you've got to have a big, ugly eating blocks up in the middle, helping the new linebackers out, things like that. So just a really interesting story. I never heard of such a thing. Part of me wants to be like, so you didn't have belief in yourself to play last year, but it seems like just a high IQ guy, good leader in the locker room, good guy to have. And again, I mean, I am glad to have a competent guy with some game experience after the losses we took in the center of the defense last year.
Yes. I mean, I think that's huge. I mean, like I said, I think our offense is going to be absolutely incredible this year. The question kind of comes down to how does his defense play? There's not necessarily is our defense bad. It's just there's a lot of question marks right now. It's not hey, it's not overwhelmingly, oh shit, we're screwed.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of question marks.
I mean, think about the guys we lost, like Kennard, obviously, Tonka, Boogie, and TJ Sanders I've already talked about. But then people like Demetrius Knight, Debo Williams, Bam Martin Scott, Nicky Manwari. That's like right through the center of our defense. That's a lot of leadership and a lot of tackles that we just don't have this year. So good to see that we have a guy who's been there for a couple of years in Clayton White's system to be able to hold down the fort, if you will.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sorry, I just burped. Good beer though. But yeah, so I did have a bit of a movie binge yesterday. Long weekend, like I touched on, and so did a little bit of good for the soul. Woke up, went to the farmer's market, did some grocery shopping for the week, and then came back and started the Divergent trilogy. So I watched Divergent and Insurgent last night, and it got me thinking. Evan took our 1-1 last week, obviously in the movie series draft. We're both huge Harry Potter fans. I think Harry Potter is one of those things that's nerd adjacent because it's just so good that it's not nerdy. It's nerdy and cool at the same time. But watching this Allegiant series, it got me really thinking. There's a lot of things that I'm assuming are covered in this book, this Divergent trilogy, that they just leave out. For example, the love story that they create between Four and the main character, the girl Triss. Like by 30 minutes into the first movie, they're saying, "I love you." There's just a lot of stuff that you're missing. Or like she goes from getting knocked out in the first fighting scene to like now she's just this badass hand-to-hand combat guru. And you don't really get any of that. And it got me thinking, as someone who's read the Harry Potter books and now has obviously watched all the movies, how good that series is at covering pretty much a lot of the stuff from the books. Obviously, you have to leave some stuff out. And I think in one of the spinoffs that we're going to get here soon, which I'll touch on, the HBO series is coming out. We'll get some more context, But something that I always forget about that is unbelievably difficult to do, that they just nailed. They're recruiting and casting these characters from the book one all the way on. Do you know how hard it is to keep the same cast throughout the entire series? Like in the first or in the first movie, you see Ginny Weasley. Ginny Weasley is not relevant until the second movie, but then she plays a huge part in the rest of the books or the rest of the movies. And they were able to cast this 7-year-old, and then it just works out that she's a good actress. Or like casting Harry, Hermione, and Ron, and it just works out that they're good. Like they're good actors for the whole movies, and none of them have issues. Like the only person that gets moved out of the cast at all is Crabbe, the little fat kid, or maybe I think it's Crabbe. He gets moved out as he's a little fat kid. But the reason he got moved out is because he was charged for arson, for trying to blow up a building in London, like after the fourth movie or something. But other than that, it's the same cast, minus Dumbledore, who obviously dies. Minus Dumbledore, but you can't really to have a show or a movie series like that spans 2000 to like 2012, 2013, and you only have to replace somebody for arson and a death. Of all the main characters, like they recruited these kids young for this cast, and that it worked out
almost perfectly. And we touched on this a little bit when we briefly talked about the spin-off series of the new series coming to HBO. It's going to be hard for me to have new characters because of how much you just that makes you like not fall in love, or like you connect with those characters because you see them for so many years, and they all do such a good job. Like really looking at the series, like onto your point, it's not even that they just did a good job. They genuinely did a good job. Like there's not one character in that where I'm like, I don't love what they did with this person. Like, there really isn't one that I can think of. They're all kind of perfect, and they play well into how the character is written in the books. The only big thing is, Harry not having green eyes, which is a huge point of a huge point in the books. It's constant. That's the only thing that's really like missing.
I 100% agree. And then like even in the first movies, like again in 2000, 2001, whenever they came out, like some of the magic, the effects that they're able to do, like when they're going from the Leaky Cauldron into Diagon Alley, and they're just touching the wall with the umbrella Hagrid is, and like the rocks are moving around, like that is advanced shit for 2001. I mean, that is crazy, and it doesn't ever look cheesy. Like when you go back and look at old films and stuff like that, because that is now an old film. It's over 23 years ago. Like that's impressive to be that far ahead of the game. And also the thing that I never remember, there's like 3 or 4 different directors. Like each director did like 2 movies, and then it was a new director, and they still kept and captured the same stuff. It's just really an incredible act of cinematic brilliance. There, I'll get right through it.
It's literally almost it's like perfection. I think that's why everyone's so nervous about this spin-off series. It's like you have such high expectations to live up to. It's even if this show is like a 7 out of 10 or like a 6.5 out of 10, which usually is like a show I'd watch or I could get through, I wouldn't be able to watch it. Like the show has to be an 8.5 or better.
Yeah.
Or I probably won't be able to watch it because of what I'm comparing it to.
Well, and it's like, even if the show is a 9 out of 10, we'll still watch it, obviously, and we'll still be, but it's not the Harry that I picture when I think of Harry Potter. It's not the Hermione. You know what I mean? It's not, I have the, like, obviously you can't do anything about the characters. The characters are older now. But I wonder if they'll keep the landscapes and environments the same. Like, will they change up what Diagon Alley looks like? Will Hogwarts look the same? Like, there's just a lot of, they're almost like in a no-win situation, because if it goes well, they'd be like, well, yeah, the books are incredible and you just did what you should have done. And if it does poorly, it's like, how could you ruin this?
Yeah, it's a good point.
A couple more things on this, because I really had this rant going. 2 more things, really. Did you know Malfoy was only on screen across all 8 movies for 32 minutes total? I learned that this week. That this weekend. It's like 32 minutes and like some random seconds. But across 8 movies, 32 minutes.
That's crazy. I would have put it at like, I mean, I wasn't going to say like anything crazy, like 2 hours, but I would have said like at least an hour and a half would have been my guess if you gave me a number.
It's 8 movies. You know what I mean? And the majority of that 32 minutes comes in the 6th movie when he is killing Dumbledore. Sorry for spoiler alerts. You should have seen it.
Well, you haven't seen Harry Potter by now. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree. But here's my last piece on that. And you texted me and said, should we dive into a hypothetical? So I thought of this one when I was ranting. Rather than a spinoff, if you could rewatch Harry Potter, the entire series as it was already filmed, through a different character's lens, who would that be? Rather than just following around Harry Potter the whole time, who would you rather see, not as the main character, but watch the movie through their eyes? And you got to think here, because you need somebody who's in at least all 8 movies. So like a Umbridge wouldn't really be a good answer, because you only got a couple movies with her anyways. But like even a Voldemort wouldn't be a great answer. Well, it could be, because he's technically around for all the movies. So seeing his plans try to work out could be interesting.
Okay, so it is a cheat. I think it's the right answer.
There is a question.
Okay,
there is a right answer.
Going in this with all of their knowledge as well.
Yeah. So consider this a spinoff. But like, let's say, hey, we have this hidden footage. It's the same filming that you saw. We just picked one character to film all of these scenes through their perspective. So you, as the fan, have already watched the movies. You already know everything that's going to happen, but you're now watching it through someone else's lens instead of Harry's.
So I think there's 2 answers here.
I have two. I have 2 written down as well.
One's Dumbledore.
Not one of mine that I had written down, but one he was right there.
And then Snape.
Yeah. Yep, that's the right answer. That's the right, especially learning what you do at the end of the series from him. Seeing, like, I'd love to see Snape go back to his like chambers when like shit's happening and just see what he's actually thinking.
So the reason I say Dumbledore too first is because Dumbledore knew so much more than Snape,
right?
Though.
No, 100%.
Like the Horcruxes, all that stuff.
The prophecies and yeah.
So that's the first name that popped into my head.
Yeah.
Dumbledore. And then, but Snape's the more of like holy shit one. Dumbledore kind of like you kind of are progressively getting it. Snape, it just bang, you just know like that 1 second.
Yeah, I agree. Snape, I think, is the right answer. The other one I have written down, though, and this is because I think he's the real hero in a lot of ways, is Neville Longbottom. Here's my reasoning. Neville tries to stop Harry and them in the first movie. Would love to see how that kind of plays out. In the in what movie is the 4th? The Goblet of Fire. He has this like solo conversation with Moody, ultimately gets Harry the Gilliwig. He's the one who kills the snake. He's And also just the pieces of I'd love to see what's happening inside the castle in the 7 part 1 and 7 part 2 when Harry and the team are looking for Horcruxes. I'd love to see what Neville's going through. Because he's kind of Neville's in a way like leading the rebellion from in the castle at that point. Neville is I think an unrecognized hero in all of this.
Hero for sure.
Yeah. He's also got hilarious lines all throughout the movie.
Here's also another thing to consider. How the story is. It could have been the boy born at the end of July.
Yeah.
Imagine you redo the whole series, but Neville, I saw this theory maybe on TikTok or something. It's like, imagine if Dumbledore had picked wrong and the prophecy foretold that it was Neville. That was the one that was going to do all the shit.
Yeah, whose birthday is also in the end of July, and whose parents were also. I don't think they were killed. I think they're at Mungo's hospital for mad wizards.
I think they have a fate worse than death. They're just completely insane.
Yeah,
they're just alive, just diddling.
Yeah, full vegetables.
So, they're in a magical mental hospital. That's worse than a normal mental hospital. And maybe on a side note, maybe mental hospitals should come back in some capacity. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah,
we don't need to go down that avenue.
Yeah, you might be instituted into one.
Maybe I could use maybe a quick stay.
The last thing I'll have on this, and this is just J.K. Rowling is a genius in this sense. In the first movie, from the very beginning, Ron tries to do that spell on the train to his rat, turn the stupid fat rat yellow. He doesn't turn yellow because he's not a rat. He's Peter Pettigrew. And she's got that planned out 4 books in advance. Just insane. Just brilliant.
The way she tied so many little details.
Yeah.
Like how do you keep all this? Like the charting she must have had somewhere.
Well, she was homeless too. She wrote the first 2 books on the back of napkins at a coffee shop.
Yep. People forget she was like basically living on the street, like just poor as now she's a billionaire. So
Yeah.
I mean, she also created probably the most popular franchise ever. I have maybe Star Wars more, but definitely of our generation, most popular franchise.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's something like they built a whole world for it at Disney or Universal or whatever it is. Like, and in London, like there are, and it's been for years to come too. The books came out forever ago.
Yeah, they built a whole real castle somewhere in outside of London. The amount of stuff you can go do, like Harry Potter's, it's worldwide. You can mention Harry Potter anywhere in the world except maybe North Korea, and people are gonna know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy how far that has spanned.
Yeah.
And then what has come basically from it too. There's a ton of different shit that is kind of based on this, not based on the storyline, but has ties to the same kind of, I guess, world building, if you will.
For sure.
But yeah, I just got so fixated on this over the past weekend. But that's talking
I do the same
Potter.
thing. I'll go on a Harry Potter binge at least a couple times a year, minimum.
Oh yeah. I know we're pushing about an hour here. Do you want to? I don't have anything else on my list. Do you want to jump into our draft today?
Yeah, I do, but I did have one last thing. I saw. I kind of want to get your thoughts on this.
Hear it.
I saw it yesterday, so I'm not sure if you saw a little bit of NBA news. Apparently, Jason Tatum is making moves to get Dame Lillard to come to the Celtics. I saw that and I was a little confused. I don't really know how exactly that works, but I'm not opposed to it necessarily. I don't know how high I am for it. I don't know. Necessarily, that's not really a piece I necessarily think we need. But I'm never gonna say no to having Dame, especially kind of on the twilight of his career. With Jason Tatum probably not going to be there till February at the earliest.
Well, Damian Lillard also tore his Achilles in the playoffs against the Pacers.
Yeah, shit. So I didn't even think about that.
And that's when you get him back full strength, he'll be. So he actually turns 35 tomorrow. Funny enough, I just looked it up. He turns 35 tomorrow, so you're going to be getting a 37-year-old Damian Lillard. I mean, is it worth it? Not really.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I wonder, you get him and Tatum for one last playoff run. Dame's I want to get one more ring. Just sends it all out on a bad Achilles. How good is he? Is the shooting still there? Is he gonna have his whole game? No, but
where does he play? Like because he's gonna want to start. Damian Lillard. He's gonna want to start.
But
so can
here's
you
my
convince
thing.
him to
Does
come
he
off the
want to
bench?
start next year?
No, he won't be able to. He won't be healthy
That's
until
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But like
playoffs.
on a playoff run, he could give you some minutes, hit a couple shots here and there. That's what I'm saying. A guy that plays 5-10 minutes a game, maybe, 10 being high, but he gets in there for some big plays, big shots if you need it. I'm not opposed to having it. I mean, it depends what the money looks like.
But he also doesn't play any defense.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. For a team
I just thought it was interesting.
It's definitely interesting, but for a team like the Celtics, I just don't know that I get it. I thought you were going to say something different regarding your friend Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, 6 years old?
Might be 27.
27, yeah. Cooper Flagg came out and said Jason Tatum is his favorite player growing up.
That's crazy.
He's 9 years older than him.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's half of Cooper Flagg's life. Cooper Flagg was only born like 2006.
That's crazy. 2006.
So like it goes like he must have been wanting to go to Duke for a while, which doesn't surprise me. Big white guy wants to go to Duke. That's doesn't shock me. I still can't believe how UConn let him get out of the Northeast. But
problem is he went to that Monteverde Academy.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I always forget about that.
Lee McNeely also went to UConn. He played at Monteverde too. So
that was a good Monteverde team.
Yeah, they had 6 5-star recruits, I think.
The other stat I saw, this is obviously way back because the draft happened so long ago, but Rutgers and Duke had 4 of the top 5 players in this year's draft, and Rutgers didn't even make the tournament. Yeah. It's not great.
But yeah, hey, I think we're talking some college ball. Now let's talk the college ball we'd really care about. Let's talk about some college quarterbacks.
Yeah, so I had a couple questions on this. Obviously, we're doing since 2000, so some names that people like, including Peyton Manning, Tommy Frazier, Doug Flutie. You're not going to see those on our list per the stipulations of the draft. But are we going accolade heavy? Are we going eye test heavy? Or do you got to just kind of make that combo yourself?
Your decision yourself. It's your top 5.
Okay.
And then me and you will debate them. Okay. I think it's giving me some great talking points. I think our opinions are going to differ, and maybe our heads are both went the same way. I certainly went one way. There's a specific way I went with how I'm drafting.
I have a massive list, so I went every which way. I don't even know how I'm going to pick these.
I do think there's a clear 1-1. But I will let you take. I got to make the decision last week if I wanted to go 1 or 2, 3. So I'll let you make the pick. Oh, one stipulation by everyone: because we're South Carolina fans, we did say no South Carolina quarterbacks.
Yeah, not that there'd only be one that you could even consider here, I think. But yeah.
Well, also I'm going to add this. I'm not sure if no active quarterbacks. They have to be out of college.
I'm good with that.
Okay. So what would you like? Would you like 1-1 or would you like the turn?
I'm taking the turn.
Okay.
I like 3 guys.
Go ahead. And I am. Let me go out my list here just make sure I can keep track as well. Pull up my list, see who I got. I do have a huge list. I'm gonna try to actually. I'm gonna play favoritism a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. So, I'm going Tim Tebow at the 1-1.
He was one of my 3 that I considered as the rightful spot there.
2 national championships and he was really just kind of can't miss TV back then. I mean, don't get me wrong, those Florida teams were also really, really good too.
Yeah.
But with him, Urban Meyer, you got the double murderer, Pouncey twins. That defense was insane.
The racist Riley Cooper, not his name. He was on those teams, I believe, as well. The long-haired receiver from the Eagles.
Riley Cooper.
Yeah, Riley Cooper. All right. Listen, I think that was a good pick. Obviously, like you said, the 2 championships, also had a Heisman in there. Was a Heisman finalist a couple different times. That's why I was kind of asking about accolades for side test. But yeah, great pick. My first overall pick, I'm going with Cam Newton. I think that he was unbelievable. That Auburn team wasn't very good. I think it was just him and Nick Fairley were the only two people drafted in the first round from that team. Unbelievable leader of that team. Obviously not the greatest guy. He just gotten kicked out of Florida for stealing computers or whatever, but
he was on Tim Tebow team.
He was on the Tim Tebow team. Yeah, I'm going to go Cam Newton with my 1-1. And then this one is heavy on eye test, but I got to go with the guy who had probably the best season I've watched in my recent memory, and it's Joe Burrow.
Great pick.
I mean, what he did that 2020 or 2019-2020 season was unbelievable. He was solid the 2018-19 year, but just what he was able to do, and one of those like no doubter kind of first overall picks, even though he came into the season projected like third round. So yeah, Cam Newton and Joe Burrow feeling pretty good right now.
Okay. I'm going to take Vince Young based off of just the 1 year thing. I mean, kind of similar situation.
On my list.
And that national championship game will probably go down as the best national championship game ever.
It's up there, man. It really is. I'm trying to think.
Like that 4th and 5, like you can just picture it. Like I don't even need to talk. Everyone can just picture it. It was such a good game.
It was one of the first ones I remember watching where I was like, this sport fucking rocks. Yeah, no, great pick on my list.
See, now here's where I think it gets a little bit tougher.
Definitely.
Now I think you got to kind of. I got a few really good names like here, and I'm gonna go with a guy who I just love the way he plays football, even in the NFL right now too. And I'm gonna go with Baker Mayfield.
On my list. Yeah, and he had those Oklahoma years, unbelievable. Heisman, first overall pick, playoff runs or playoff appearances, I should say. That was the 4 teams. But yeah, great. I mean, on my list, great pick.
And they were just in so many good shootout games. Like it was just so fun to watch.
Yeah, the him versus Mahomes, the one that always gets replayed. It's just that's must see TV.
Such a competitor too. Just plays with that chip on his shoulder too. You just love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a guy here that is controversial, but we're talking between the lines, and he kind of changed how college football is being played when he came on. Led his team to a national finals in the BCS era, or a championship game in the BCS era, and that is one Michael Vick.
Interesting. Okay.
Unbelievable season with that Virginia Tech team. Up until the whole dog fighting allegations that turned out to be obviously true. Up until that came out, he was one of the most electric players. Just changed a lot of how the game was played. And his collegiate years were pretty much the same thing there.
I didn't have him on my list just because I didn't get to watch much of Mike Vick in college, or I just don't remember it really. So,
growing up in Richmond, you saw a lot of Michael Vick. That was one of the first like 4A. Do up. Lost you for a second.
Back in here.
Yeah, I'm back.
So I can go back. What were you saying?
No, you were talking about his highlights. I just said that Michael Vick, growing up in Richmond, Michael Vick, you did see a lot of, because obviously Virginia Tech was probably the more popular, at least football school, in the area I grew up.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a good pick. I mean, he is legendary, and people still talk about how crazy good he was in college. And kind of to your point, he changed the way the quarterback position was played for a long time. He was kind of the trendsetter in that, and there really hasn't been anyone quite on that level since. Maybe a Lamar Jackson.
So I don't know if you've known this stat, but Michael Vick was not the number 1 quarterback in Virginia his recruitment year.
It was
AI. That's right. I got some good ones on my list now, and I'm trying to think. All right. I'm going to go here. I'm trying to think big moments. So this guy is not a big moment guy, but his numbers speak for themselves. At the time he was there, smaller school. No, I'm changing it. I'm going to go even smaller of a school. Put a historically black college and university on the map. Awesome NFL career, but really just competing with much less talent. Hold on, let me fact check. This guy might have been before the 2000s. Shit.
Yes, I can't think of who you're talking about.
Let me just riff. All right, if he plays, I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I was going to take Steve McNair, Alcorn State University.
No,
Is that too early?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I'm glad I checked. Okay. Eliminating Steve McNair, Alcorn State. Then I'm going to go back with the guy I was originally going to say. Smaller school at the time, has pretty much all the records, and that's one Case Keenum out of Houston.
Good.
Never was able to play on the national scale at that time the way that you might see with smaller school guys in the advent of this kind of current state of college football. But Case Keenum, I mean, he was like the real football heads will remember this, especially from playing the early video games. But Colt Brennan was Case Keenum took what Colt Brennan did and then just beat it. Against
I have
a little bit
on my list,
talent.
considering taking him. But I'm glad he slid to me. He is the most electrifying player I've ever seen at the college level.
I know you're going to take.
It's Johnny Manziel.
I was about to take
Johnny
him.
Football. He traversed the nation and he played quarter. Like when I was a junior in high school. That guy did everything you just dreamed of doing when you're 16, 17 years old, going out and just partying his ass off and then just showing up on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And, took a turn for him. It sucks. But he was just the epitome of, fuck it, let's just go ball. And he did. Like, he was a human highlight reel. Every time he touched the ball, something crazy happened.
Yeah, look, I was between him and Case Keenum after I couldn't take and I'm now wishing just because you have him now that I wish I would have taken him. But, it is what it is. Johnny Manziel, unbelievable. I mean, must-watch TV, the Alabama stopper, if you will, of his days.
And this last pick's really tough for me. I'm between two guys, both with championship accolades. One with a lot better numbers, and one just, he was just a fucking winner. And I just felt like he never got the respect he deserved. But I think I got to go with the numbers guy. And I'm going to go Matt Leinart.
On my list. He was on my list. Do you fear that he was too much of a Reggie Bush, Lindell White merchant?
A little bit, but at the same time, he was so good at slinging the rock.
Yeah.
And on those USC teams, the amount of that was where every quarterback in the nation wanted to go play. And he was just so good at controlling the offense. And here's the thing, when you have that much talent around you, I think it sometimes goes underappreciated how he made all the right throws, made so many good decisions at the time, and still put up those huge numbers, even with sharing the backfield with Reggie Bush and Lindell White. Like he won Heisman, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
So he still put up huge numbers while having to give up a lot of the time to Reggie Bush. And that, don't get me wrong, he had some great receivers on the edge. I believe he had Steve Smith, Dwayne Jarrett, I want to say, was there as well. Might be missing a couple names, but he was just tremendous, and apart from going against one of the, again, going back to that national championship game, him versus Vince Young, one of the best duels of all time, two of the best quarterbacks of the era. And he was, Vince Young away from winning 2 national championships. So I got to give it to him. And so I'm going to go with Matt Leinart.
Yeah, looking at his career stats right now, BCS champion, AP national championship champion, which I didn't know existed. It's just an award given to the team ranked number 1 in the final poll. Dumb. Heisman Trophy, Walter Camp Award, Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, which is a sick name. The Manning Award, which seems dumb. Sugar Bowl Committee, best. Okay. Archie Griffin Award, Quarterback of the Year, All-American, first-team All-American, Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year, 3-time first-team Pac-10 player, 2003, 4, 5, and his jersey is retired as a quarterback at Southern Cal. That's which I will never call them USC because they're not USC, but
They're not
Southern,
the USC.
yeah, Southern Cal.
We were a state. We were a school before they were a fucking state.
Yeah.
Fuck your Gold Rush.
Yeah. Yeah, great pick. Even I was thinking about him. He's on my list, like I said, but he did have a much more decorated career than I remember in the college scheme. All right, I've got
the last pick's tough, dude. There's so many names in my list right now. I'm excited for some honorable mentions that just rail them off.
I have 3 that I really like. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with my eye test piece here, and I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson.
Great pick.
He was just unbelievable. Youngest player to win a Heisman, I think, when he won it. I don't know if he still is. Unbelievable. Didn't get the national championship, but this wasn't a national champion type conversation. I think it was an individual. And of the other 2 guys that I had still on my list that I would have picked here, Lamar passed the eye test harder. I mean, he was a better quarterback. He's proven that as he's gone through his NFL career, but just unbelievable talent. He was the guy who unseated Michael Vick on the Madden ratings as fastest quarterback in the Madden rating era. I think 98 to 99. But on the college level, I mean, he made Louisville relevant, won a Heisman at Louisville, unbelievable player, and did it over more than one season. So yeah, I'll read our lists off, and then we can go through some honorable mentions. So Ev, you have Tim Tebow, Vince Young, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Football, and Matt Leinart. I've got Cam Newton, Joe Burrow, Michael Vick, Case Keenum, and Lamar Jackson. And if I'm looking at our list side by side, the Case Keenum one on a graphic would hurt me in this draft because people don't remember the Houston days. People remember what they've seen in the league.
And unfortunately, he also just didn't get a ton of airtime playing for Houston. Similar situation with, you mentioned as well, who I actually liked more watching was Colt Brennan.
Colt Brennan, yeah.
Who I had on my list, and I'll also go ahead and say that as an honorable mention right now. But
yeah,
he was fun. He made that was the first time only time I remember Hawaii being relevant. It was pretty much every year he was there. He would just sling, and it was the best part too. I was kind of at that age where my parents started being, okay, you don't have a bedtime anymore, so especially on Saturdays, I got to stay up and watch that into the night game. Yeah. He got some duels, dude. He played some good. He played some decent talent occasionally. So
I mean, they were in the Mountain West, I think at least, because
I want to. They played Southern Cal at some point too.
They definitely did. When my dad was at Nevada, they would go out there and play, and he was like, "That was a brutal road trip, just because you're going 8 hours. Well, 8 hours from the East Coast, like 5 hours back in time. For a pretty much 36 hours. I had a different Colt on my list, and that was Colt McCoy.
Another great pick.
I thought about him a lot for that last pick, just from an eye test perspective. I mean, he was just like the perfect Texas quarterback, being named Colt McCoy too. I think that carried him a little bit more than it maybe should have. But honorable mention. I'm happy I didn't take him here, but honorable mention as well. Who else? I got 2 more honorable mentions. Who else you got?
So I got 2 big honorable mentions, and then a third one. I just want to. A guy I loved watching growing up because I was a Notre Dame fan. Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. Didn't have him on my list because I didn't think I'd get to him, but he deserves to be in the conversation.
Stetson Bennett was the one I almost picked at the end there.
Stetson Bennett, you can't shit on Stetson that hard.
Stetson Bennett, and that's why I said he got criminally underrated. He made all the plays. Like, you can say all you want, that Georgia defense is unbelievable and they carried the team. Yes. But he played beautiful football down the stretch, especially in the big moments. Winning 2 national championships as a walk-on. Fought his job. He fought to win that job countless times. And finally, there's just like this guy's got it. This is our guy. Yeah. And I think he just doesn't get the credit he deserves for. I don't think Georgia wins those national championships if they stick with the other guys. I really don't.
Well, there's an element to having like a negative ego, which it seems like he did. He didn't care about anything but Georgia football and winning games. And if you get a more talented guy in there, you never know if they're going to have that same kind of mentality, and that could be dangerous.
And then the last one I had was just Brady Quinn, because I was Notre Dame fan growing up. I loved watching Brady Quinn, and Brady Quinn was a fucking stud.
Yeah,
he went toe to toe. One of the biggest games that ruined me as a kid, the Bush Push game, one of the best football games I've ever watched. Still to this day, Notre Dame in those beautiful, some of the best uniforms, I think. Those dark green shamrock ones are awesome. You throw in the ball to Jeff Samardzija, who gave up probably would have been a first-round draft pick. Ended up going to be a pretty decent MLB pitcher, but
do you think he made more money as a pitcher than he would have in the league?
For sure.
Because he was playing, or he was throwing in like meaningful games as well.
Correct. I mean, he was like a first-round draft pick. Like he was he was even better pitcher than he was wide receiver, which is saying a lot. Because he was like I want to say a finalist for the Blittenkamp Award, but
the last two that I had, one I think he had an unbelievable college career. One of the biggest what ifs that I'll ever have in my life, Andrew Luck.
Good pick.
Ryan Grigson should still be put on trial for attempted murder for what he tried to do as the GM of the Colts to Andrew Luck. That guy, unbelievable piece of shit. I hope he dies by himself. But the other one is famous Jameis. You can't tell college football, especially the Marcus Mariota part of it, without Jameis. I don't think he won a Heisman, but he won a national championship. First non-SEC school after like 9 years of SEC dominance. Jameis and that team came in and beat Cam's Auburn team. Made a ton of.
He did win a Heisman.
Did he? Okay. So yeah, I mean, that might have been a miss on my list then. I couldn't remember if he made a Heisman or not, and we don't really do research here. But Jameis just had an unbelievable career. At the end of the day, I decided on Lamar over him, just because the eye test alone. Lamar had much less talent around him compared to what Jameis had. But yeah, I mean, I think we covered a lot. The only guy that we definitely left off, and we couldn't pick him, but again deserves to be mentioned, is Tommy Frazier, most decorated Nebraska Cornhusker of all time. Again, he's a '90s player, so obviously we couldn't pick him, but just wanted to mention him again because Tommy Frazier was that deal. Obviously, just slightly before our time, but still worth mentioning.
Yeah, and also, quick shout out to Connor Shaw, South Carolina legend.
Yep, this is his hat. Go to GC Supply Co. And get some Connor Shaw gear. Great guy. But yeah, him and Stetson Bennett have a lot of similarities to me. I think Connor Shaw was better than Stetson, but it's hard to compare those teams that Stetson had around him, especially defensively. Even though those Gamecock teams in the early 2010s were pretty stellar. Those Georgia teams of Stetson Bennett's years were just some of the best teams we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's a few Alabama quarterbacks on there. I think that Bryce Young, Jalen Hurts, but
I thought about Jalen Hurts. So this is an interesting question. Do you consider Jalen Hurts as a Sooner or Alabama quarterback?
Alabama.
Really? You think so? Is it because he went to the championship with Alabama?
He also played 3 years at Alabama.
Did he? I thought he played 2 and 2.
No, 3. Maybe 2. I think it was 3, but he started as a freshman. He walked on campus, and then he just got hooked to a bug in that national championship game. But
that year that they won the championship against Georgia, Tua came on for him, obviously, but then that following year he came on for Tua in the SEC championship game.
Correct.
And that was his last game, I believe, his last game before he transferred.
Yeah,
because they got their shit pushed in by Clemson that year.
Another name I had on there is Carson Palmer, but I just don't really remember him. I just know he was super good before Matt Leinart.
Yeah.
But I think good list all top. I think it's kind of depends which way you go. The one I'm really kind of mad you got for me is Joe Burrow. I really wanted Joe Burrow on the list, but
that's why I wanted the 2-3 turn, because I wanted any two of Tebow, Newton, and Burrow. The other guy that we don't mention, and I think it's funny that neither of us mentioned him, even though his single season beat Joe Burrow's best season, was Mac Jones, guy that played for your New England Patriots.
It was just 1 year though, is the problem.
Yeah, it was just that one, but it was an incredible year. Granted,
anyway, it's Devontae Smith who just broke even more records, and
you know how hard it is to win the Heisman as a receiver too. Like that just goes to show what Devontae was doing too.
Yeah. That might be another fun draft. Top 5 wide receivers. That one could get real hard.
that one could get really, really difficult because there's going to be a lot of preference there. I got one last thing before we close out this show.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Home run derbies tonight. Who you got? I'll pull up the participants.
Yeah, give me some names. I need let me pull up the names as well. I need to go through the whole list. I haven't even really done much prep for this yet.
I didn't know it was tonight until I was scrolling through ESPN.
I didn't either until about an hour before the show.
So I know I got two guys that I'll be placing wagers on responsibly, of course. But I'll leave it to you. There's one guy on here that I just don't really know why he's on here. Again, I don't watch a ton of baseball, but it just doesn't seem like Jazz Chisholm is a yard banger the way that I. But I mean, he's not the lowest home runs on this list. I don't know why people like Aaron Judge don't do this, or even Shohei. But I thought it was interesting to hear that Pete Alonso is not doing it this year.
I like Byron Buxton. He's the name I like a lot, as well as I want to say Matt Olson. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Matt Olson. So those are my two names that I'm looking at. Matt Olson as well as Byron Buxton.
I'm gonna definitely place a wager on O'Neal Cruz just because I think he's so cool. He's very much like Ellie De La Cruz, at least in my head, just because from a cool factor standpoint. So I'll be placing a wager on him. I just think that that'll be good odds too. I have not watched maybe more than what if you put my line at baseball games watched over under 1.5, I think I'd be taking the under. It's talking like full games. Cal Raleigh's obviously the guy everyone's talking about, big dumper because he's just banging home runs as a catcher, which is sick. I just don't think the money's going to be there or worth it. James Wood is somebody I'll look at for my second wager for no other reason than James Wood from Family Guy is a constant like laugh for my childhood. So I think that's James Woods actually, but doesn't matter. I'll be taking a wager on Woods and O'Neal Cruz tonight.
Well, hey, no, I like that. I'm excited to watch. It gives me something to do tonight.
Yeah.
After I cook dinner. I'm excited for that. Well, hey, Boone, great show. Hey, enjoy golf. Hit them long and straight. But other than that, you got anything else before we close out?
Long and straight are two things no one's ever called me in my lifetime. But yeah, I'll do my best. That's all I got for you today. I'm excited that we're starting to get some football news trickle out. This is the time of year that if you don't have Adam Schefter's notifications turned on the Twitter machine, go ahead and do that because by August, literally next month, there will be names that we don't realize what teams they're on or what's happened. So go ahead and get those. Start prepping for the season. It's coming. It's going to be here fast. So that's all I got.
Also some other news. One, I will be on a phone call with AT&T right after this. Get the Wi-Fi situation right away. And second, we're going to look into some different podcast recording studio. Hopefully get you a little bit better experience in the watching it. But other than that, thank you guys, and we will check out.